Let's just wait for Instagram to inform everyone that I'm live now. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry. I honestly do not know what is happening when I try to add um, our guests. Instagram shuts off, so I have to restart the phone. Maybe it has to do with my phone, or maybe it has to do with Instagram. So we're gonna try again. This time, hopefully, it's going to work. Hi, everyone. Hi, Chris. Thank you for coming back. So we're gonna try this again. Maybe this time, um, still doing the same thing. Hi. Okay. Fantastic.
That
I'm so
looks more
happy it
likely
works
to be
this
working.
time.
Let me just change my volume.
Okay. Hi. So
Hello.
can you hear me clearly?
I can, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for joining. So, guys, we have someone from the Montfort here today, and he's a very special guest of ours. His name is, I don't want to get your surname wrong, Chris McCafferty.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. So he's the head of international planning. I don't know if your colleague is going to also join us today because my colleague told me you mentioned that there's someone who is a senior administrative officer in Nigeria who might be joining us. But for now, we have you, Chris, and you're very welcome to our live today. And my sincere apologies. Sometimes Instagram is not the very best platform to do this. So good morning or good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Yeah, yes, very good. We're very busy today.
Oh,
We have clearings, so there's a concept. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a concept in the UK where
yeah, I am aware.
their higher results, the 18-year-olds are going to get their A level results
Oh,
tomorrow.
oh,
So we open up some additional spaces for some students who may not have got into their first choice of university, or their circumstances maybe have changed since they made that decision. So we're doing a little bit of capacity management in terms of, okay, how many spaces can we open up for any new students that are going to be on the phone tomorrow morning after they've got the results and says, can I now come to De Montfort University?
oh, that's nice. Is this going to be for local students or is this also open to international
No,
students?
no, it's more of an undergraduate route,
Oh,
and like I say, it's just for the UK students, UK based students, that
okay.
they have other options. As I said, they make a decision on which university they would prefer to go to, but they've made that decision maybe 6 months ago, and for any number of reasons, they might have decided, oh well, I would now like to change and go to De Montfort University instead. And this thing that they call clearing, which a lot of universities around the country will do, that gives them that opportunity to try and apply for a place at the last minute.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. All right. So, thank you for giving us some time out of your busy
No problem, no
schedules.
problem.
Okay. So, now I'm gonna be asking you a couple of questions for people who are interested in going to the Montfort and people who want to consider the UK for January and subsequently September 2024. So I'm going to go ahead and ask, could you tell me about the Montfort University? Why would international students, especially from Nigeria, want to come to the Montfort University?
Okay, it would be very easy to give you a very sales pitched answer to this, but the truth is, I came to De Montfort University many years ago. I'm not originally from Leicester or even from England. I grew up in Ireland, so I made a decision. I wasn't not really an international student. I feel a bit of internationalized by moving over. But I mean, I moved over in 2001. To come to De Montfort University, and I'm still here. And I mean, it's not that I've not
Oh,
been
yeah.
working here the whole time. I've come back, and it was one of the most exciting opportunities for me was to return back to De Montfort University. I've always lived within the area, but the one thing I would say was it was Leicester really that made it for me. Leicester was a very welcoming city, and I came from a very remote part of Ireland as well, so a very countryside. one shop in the village, you know, one chapel. That was it. You know, if you wanted to go on a night out, you had to organize a bus with all the people from the town, from the village, to go to somewhere with a nightclub. Yeah, no taxis or anything like that. So it was a bit of a logistic nightmare. But I moved over to Leicester 2001. 22 years later, I'm still here and I still love it. It's a beautiful city. De Montfort itself, the campus is fantastic. Really modernized, and certainly in the last few years. And again, it's a completely different looking university to whenever I went there. But it has, whilst it's modernized some of its buildings, it has maintained that kind of rustic appeal of looking, you know, with some like beautiful buildings in around, certainly the castle building at De Montfort University, and Magazine Walk. There's some very nice areas of Leicester as well that would be aesthetically pleasing as well.
So from what I get from you, it's a very pleasing environment, especially someone coming from a remote area. It's welcoming, I'm guessing, to international students as well.
100%. Yeah, it's so Leicester's recently been voted the 15th best city for students in the UK to live in, and that's based on, there's a number of factors that go into that, such as public transport's available, cost of living, nightlife, shopping. But what I would say about Leicester is Leicester has this incredible international feel about it, where it brings together, I think it's the most diverse city in the UK.
Really?
And you really feel that. So
London and Birmingham has a lot of diversity.
You're right. Birmingham does. Leicester has some areas though. So there's a road in Leicester just near the university. Actually, it's called the Narber Road, and it is the most diverse shopping district in the United Kingdom. Whereas it caters for, so that you will have like African shops, Eastern European shops, Indian shops, other South Asian shops, etc. There is something for everyone, and obviously it is a city that really celebrates cultures that we have as well, without any, you know, there's no problems. People from other cultures join in with the other cultures. Just recently, so next to where I live here, there's a Victoria Park, and we just had the Caribbean Festival last weekend. 2-day event, you know, street vendors doing Caribbean food, Caribbean music, Caribbean nightlife. Unfortunately, it rained, but it was, you know, it's an annual thing that we do. It was, yeah. And you know, and same, you know, we have a lot of like Africa, you know, traditions and things as well. There's big Africa community over here. You know, there, you know, and also there's very Indian orientated as well. We have a big Indian population. In fact, the Diwali celebrations is the biggest outside of India in the world. This is.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Could I just mute my other phone because I'm having some distractions? I'll just tell the person I'm live. Okay, and I put it on airplane mode so I don't get any more distractions. Okay, so thank you. So the Montfort is located in a city that has students can feel right at the community, that feels like they're bringing a part of their home to the United Kingdom. Now, in terms of the university itself, what are the things about the university that would make one consider going to the Montfort instead of any other university in the UK? Did you get my question? Because it seems like your network is.
Yes, please. Yeah,
sorry. Should I repeat myself? Do you want me to repeat? Okay. So from your answer, we've gotten that Leicester City is a very wonderful city, a lot of international appeal, and everyone that chooses the Montfort gets to feel that international appeal. They get to bring a part of themselves into the city, and then it's very welcome because they have a community. Now I'm asking about the university itself. Why would one, aside the city, want to choose the Montfort University?
I think
so you know, things that you have, for international students that would make one consider them over other universities?
I see. I would feel that with other universities that offer international programs, you might not get the sort of the volume of international students that will be with you. So we do have each intake, especially for level 7, is very highly international based. So you'll be with a lot of peers and a lot of people in a very similar situation to yourself. So I mean, again, it's a good opportunity to bounce ideas off and meet other people from different cultures, as well as your own nationality, other nationalities as well. As I said, Leicester itself, I think, just gives that. We support internationalism within the UK, or sorry, within Leicester, and certainly that reflects into Montfort University. And then, so just for context, we're one of the top 20 international universities in the UK. Whenever we break that down into Africa, we're actually ranked 12th, and as per our last HISA results, 12th in terms of African population. And in terms of our facilities that we have on campus, and again, it's a city centre based campus. A lot of these other universities, you would be based kind of maybe outside the city somewhat. Whilst Leicester's a smaller city maybe than Birmingham, as you mentioned earlier, it's more of a, for me, it's more of a closer city. It has all of what you need, really. It has all the top shops. It has all the, the nightlife that you need, the bars, the restaurants. Sorry. Oh, yeah. And also, what you find with Leicester, so Leicester is, if you could stick a pin in the middle of the UK, you would end up in Leicester, which makes it great for commuting and also day trips. So I mean, you can jump on a train and within 1 hour and 10 minutes you'll be at St Pancras, London. There's a lot of other really cool cities within reach and distance. For example, Nottingham's nearby. Birmingham, as you said, it's only about 40 minutes on the train. Manchester, Liverpool, there's some very, Leicester's within very easy reach of a lot of these places. Yeah.
All right, so thank you for that, guys. So if you're looking for a university that has the international appeal and has all the facilities that you would want in a modern university, then the Montfort is a university that you should consider. Now, let's go to finance. For international students, what are the fees that you're going to be looking at, and what is the payment structure that is given to international students? Now, this can be for either undergraduate and postgraduate. I'd like to have like the full picture for undergraduate and postgraduate students.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, without quoting numbers to hand, we have a kind of a range. It depends on the course that you choose, obviously, and how long you're going to study. But I mean, we tend to range from about the course fees start about 15,100 British pounds. In terms of any scholarships and discounts, if you're applying for January intake, I believe that if you pay 50% of your fees before 1st of November, you'll be getting £500 scholarship, or if you pay full fees, you'll get a £1,000 scholarship. Scholarships are also offered as well for the autumn intake, so which is obviously just passed, but if any students are considering coming to the UK for 2024 September intake, then that will, again, there'll be a structure in place in due course that will allow for any discount scholarships for people paying early. In terms of the payment, so we are offering currently 25% as a payment, 25% of the full fee, to secure your CAS, and then before registration we ask that you pay an additional 25%. So full 50% in order to register, 50% of your annual fee, but we only require 25% currently for CAS, and then the additional 25% at the point of registration. And the reason why we changed that, so like we were only offering, we were initially doing 50% for CAS, but we are aware of the obviously some of the challenges that have been occurring in Nigeria recently with the currency movement. So we want to offer the best opportunity for students from Nigeria to still be able to come over to the UK in this intake.
That's really considerate of your university. Could you let me know what's the installment plan students would have to pay the remainder of the 50%?
So again, the 50% there is then paid in 2 installments. So the first one will be due, I believe, in November time, and then February for the second one. So then so if you think about it, it's 4 25% payments.
Okay, that's nice. All right. So I want to know, what are the entry requirements? What kind of students do you want in your university?
Well, I mean, again, it all depends on the course that they're applying for. But I mean, if coming in at level 7, we would look for a 2-1, 2-2 for any of the master's programs. As I said, it depends on the course that they're applying for. Some courses are a bit harder. Sorry, the entry requirements are a bit higher. For example, cybersecurity will require 2-1. But some of our business management courses will require 2-2. Undergraduate foundation program or OND is required. Yeah, that's
okay.
But I mean, I would say check us as well, just with our regional representatives that we have in country, just because that might move, that might change throughout, depending on application volumes at the time.
Okay. So do you have opportunities for people with either HND or third class to go into a level 7 master's program, or is there like a pre-master's program you run for these people to be able to get?
They are available, but it's treated on a case by case. So if they have third class HND, again, it'll go to consideration from a course leader over here at Montfort University. So again, we don't sort of like say like categorically yes, no, based on this. We understand that circumstances are different, or if they have based on their work experience, etc., and that will be considered. But it is all just about like how they can make their point across in the application, and that then extends into the credibility interview as well. So whenever they're invited for credibility interview, if they can make a case of why it is that they want to study this, how this qualification is going to aid them in their future plans for work, etc., or career aspirations that they might have. Again, it's just about making that point very clear.
Okay, that's nice. So thank you for that. When people have a third class, an HND for clarification purpose, and you're looking to go into a master's program, then we'll be considering, the Montfort will be considering your work experience and probably other certifications you've had within the field, and then your motivation for going to that course. So it's not an absolute no if you do not meet the requirements of having like a 2-2 or a 2-1 for certain courses. So they are still open. So I heard you say precast interview, and this is a very interesting topic for a lot of Nigerians, specifically because some people opt out of schools that conduct precast interviews because they have they've been misinformed about what the interviews really are. I would like you to clarify this and to assure people that precast interview really isn't about trying to take the opportunity for you to come study in the UK, but ensuring that you are a right fit for the course and the school in question. So could you please shed more light to this?
I mean, you've answered it perfectly there. You're absolutely right. This isn't some sort of like barrier that we want to put in for the students. This is not just for us to gain the credibility, to be assured of the credibility of the student, but it's also for the student to have the opportunity to see that, okay, well, maybe based on like what's my entry requirements are, or, that maybe this isn't the right fit. But again, we're not trying to catch people out. We're not trying to we're not having an interview to say no. This is just an opportunity for us to gain a little bit of understanding about the student, something that we might not get from the actual admissions application. So, a lot of this comes through in paper format or on a spreadsheet. So this is a good opportunity for the student then to put their points across in person with a qualified agent that knows what to look out for and knows what they might be asked difficult questions whenever they arrive in the UK if they are pulled aside for questioning whenever they arrive. But this is just to prepare them.
Okay.
The best advice I can give for credibility interview is just to do all of your research, be fully immersed on what the Montfort University is, what course, know all about your course, and certainly be able to explain how you're going to use your course for your, let's say, for your future career. How this qualification will help you achieve your longer term goals. And then the other questions that we might ask will be about your living arrangements. And again, this is just purely because that you will possibly be asked these questions when you arrive in the UK. So be sure that you have done your research as to what options are available for you for living, even if you haven't secured accommodation at the point in time. Whenever you have your credibility interview, let us know what you've researched and what your options are. It might be too early for you to have something in place, but if you can give the interviewer assurances that you know the area, where to live, how far things are from that point where you plan to live, there won't be any issues. And then the final point on credibility interview as well is that some of the questions they might seem a bit personal, certainly when it comes to finances. But again, it is really just for us to gain that understanding of okay, are you going to struggle to pay off tuition fees? And because again, like if we have students that don't pay off tuition fees, then they can't complete the course. And then that all adds to our kind of risk profile that's been set to us by UKVI. So again, please don't be insulted if we start asking questions. So if a student, for example, was to say like, my parents will be, that they'll be providing my living expenses, and we might ask, what are your parents' earnings, for example. That's just because we want to know, okay, is it viable for you to live off your parents whilst you're in the UK?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, guys. For people here or listening, you can ask your questions. I'm going to scroll back up to see if there are any questions. And then for clarification's sake, especially people who have questions that might not be asked here and are going to be watching this video later on our page or on YouTube, it's absolutely okay to go to a school that conducts a credibility interview. It's actually even to your advantage because it helps you to prepare in a case where you ordinarily wouldn't have prepared. You're going to have to, or might have to, answer these same questions at the point of entry, and it just helps you to have prepared months earlier, or even a couple of weeks earlier before you have to arrive in the UK. So if you're really interested in going to study in that school and you're prepared, these are just simple questions that would be within your ability to answer. So for clarification purposes. So thank you very much for that. So now I want to ask about the accommodation. What type of accommodations would students be able to get? Does the school provide maybe hostel facilities? And then outside of the school, what kind of accommodation and the cost? What should be the cost that they will be preparing for?
So all of the university accommodation that we provide is all listed on our website, mu.ac.uk. It is very modern. Again, it's all very different to whenever I went to university around here. The flats, the accommodations, halls of residence as we call them, they're very modern nowadays, not like whenever I went and we had 12 guys all sharing one bathroom. A lot of these ones they come with ensuite rooms, They own little kitchenettes within the room as well. So in terms of price, I mean, I think they range from about like maybe £90 per week up to as high as maybe 160. But again, that depends on what sort of luxury you're looking for within your accommodation. Then if that's not if that's not what you fancy, or you want to live in a shared house within or around the campus, again, there's it's a big city. There's a lot of private landlords that are offering that to students. I mean, I'm just looking over the road here. I know there's student doctors, live over the house next to me. In terms of rent, again, you're looking maybe about £100 per week. A lot of those accommodations as well will include utility bills. Your internet, etc., will be free. But yeah, there's any number of options available to students to either live on campus or live very close to campus and make a small short commute into campus each day.
Okay. So if you're living outside campus, what would be the transportation costs, depending on the distance between your house and your campus? What would be the average cost of transportation per month?
I would say it's going to be no more than £2 to £3 per day if you live within, most of, as we talk about these sort of like these have like high student populations. A lot of that will be within walking distance anyway, or certainly if you have a bike, you could cycle in as well. There's a lot of like very secure facilities for students on a bicycle to lock them away. Peace of mind. We offer all of that there. Even they have
to bike. Do you need a special license to ride a bike?
You don't need a special license to ride a bike, but obviously I'm a bit of a cyclist myself. I would just encourage that you wear reflective clothing and have lights on your bike if you're out in the evening as well, because there's a lot of cyclists about actually. Certainly in the city centre, we have a lot of I don't know if you have it over with you guys, but we have like delivery systems that so like students take up a part-time job where they're like delivering food on bikes. There's a lot of bikes going around all the time, but the roads are all laid out. The roads have dedicated cycle routes as well. It is a cycle-friendly city as well. Leicester's a lot of the city centre is all closed off to cars and it's only buses and taxis that can get in through it. So there's plenty of room for people with bikes. But as I said, in terms of your original question about like commuting in, if you are living in one of the student areas, you're probably more likely to be still able to walk to campus. But if that's not for you, it'd be very minimal. I mean, let's say £2, £3 per day maybe, and that's if you're living like 3 miles outside the city centre.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, thank you for talking about jobs. What kind of jobs would international students be able to get for undergraduate and postgraduate students? What kind of jobs are available in the city?
There's a lot of opportunities for students around Leicester and Leicestershire especially. So Leicester is, and I mean, again, to me, whenever we first started this conversation, I said, I moved over to Leicester in 2001 and I still live here. A lot of that is just because of the not only that I love the city, it's the opportunities that there are here as well. There's a lot of big industries because of where Leicester's located. As I said, it's right bang in the middle of England. It kind of runs up. There's a spine, what is you call the M1, which is the main motorway that connects the north to the south, or certainly the north to London. So a lot of things will go through Leicester. So as a result of that, you have a lot of big companies that are based around Leicester because it's very easy for everyone to get to commuting, exporting and logistically. So we have a lot of like big business parks around the area, and we have some of the biggest brands in the UK are all based in Leicester. Some of the biggest brands in the UK are based in Leicester. So for example, sorry, you broke up there. What was that?
I said I didn't know that. I said that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Next is a clothing brand that's based in Leicester. So that they're probably the biggest high street clothing brand in the UK. So their head office is based just outside of Leicester here, but and then they have like a flagship shop just outside of the city centre as well, in one of our retail parks. And there's a big shopping precinct in the city centre as well, where they have another shop there. So there's a lot of employment there, and I know there's a lot of graduate routes available to them as well. A lot of people I know, and certainly whenever I was younger, a lot of the people I went to university with, they had opportunities to go to through Next. There was, they're offering a lot of things like that. Other big companies as well. So we have Walker's Crisps as well. So you know them as Lay's Crisps, I believe, throughout the world. Sorry, I say crisps, chips. Yeah, chips. Yeah. Obviously, in the UK they call them crisps. So Lay's are called Walkers in the UK because the brand name is so strong that it's only in the UK that they're not called Lay's, they're called Walkers. So the factory where they make the chips is also in Leicester. It's just it's at Beaumont Park, near Beaumont Park, where the sports facilities are. And that is the biggest crisp factory in the world.
Oh.
I know that because I worked there for a short period of time after I finished at university as well. So as I said, there's a number of there's a number of big industrial parks scattered just outside the city. And I mean, not even far outside the city. Again, maybe like a 15-minute bus journey. So there will be, if they are sticking about after they've graduated, as they can with their tier 4 visa, there will be opportunities for them to do something, maybe a bit more concrete with their qualification.
Thank you very much. Guys, I want to remind you to please drop your questions, just in case I haven't touched a particular point that you would like Chris to answer. So I would be taking the questions as they drop now, because we're getting close to when this live is going to end. So feel free to drop your questions. And so now I want to ask about January. Is January application open now? Can people submit applications, and are offers going to start pouring in soon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are open for January as we speak. I'll be sure to send out a list to you of all of the January courses that are on offer. They are mainly level 7, but yeah, I mean, I'll share that with you as we finalise. We just have a couple of the arts programs that we're looking to finalise capacity. Computer and engineering courses as well. We're just making final decisions on those, but once they're available, we'll put those on the website as well. So students have but you can get your applications in at this point.
Okay, fantastic.
And as I said, like anyone paying, if they pay 50% deposits before 1st of November, they'll be entitled to a £500 scholarship. Yeah.
And just for the people who are new or just joining, the school fees ranges from about 15,100, depending on the course and above. So if you're going for a course that's around 15,100 with 50% payment before 1st of January, you get a £500 discount.
1st of November.
That's a fantastic discount. And if you're paying full fees by 1st of January, you get a £1,000 discount. So you only get
first of November. 1st of November, that is.
Oh, 1st of November, sorry.
Yeah.
You only get to pay
for January intake.
Yeah, 15,100. So that's something that you might want to consider if £1,000 seems like a good discount for you. So I'm curious, certain courses that are very popular within the Nigerian students. So for Nigerians, what courses are they more likely to apply to?
So for January, is this you're asking?
Yes. No. For previous, yes. Previous intakes, what are the most popular courses for Nigerians, based on the courses that Nigerians like to go to? I know business courses are really popular, but do you have other courses that Nigerians are really interested in the Montfort?
Yes, we do. Yeah, data analytics is a very popular course at Montfort as well. And again, not just for Nigerian students, but also students from an international side. Engineering management, computing, project management, global MBA. They tend to be our biggest selling courses. Also, the cybersecurity one's very popular as well.
Oh,
But we have like, even but with sorry.
Are there any popular health courses?
Health courses, yeah, we've got the global health one that we have, which is a very popular course. That's a September intake one. There's also there's a master's in pharmacy as well. Clinical pharmacy, I believe it's called. Let me just check the.
Okay.
So I don't have my list, but yeah, it's clinical pharmacy, I believe it's called.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So guys, there are lots and lots of courses that you can apply to, both the ones that people are not normally rushed to, and then the other ones that are available. If you want to know more, you can go to their website, or you can contact us, and one of our counselors can take you through the available courses and what you would need to apply. So while we're talking about application, what is the English requirements that you would request from Nigerians? What is acceptable to the Montfort currently?
For Nigeria students, is this, sorry?
Yes, please.
English requirement. I mean, we just go up with IELTS level 6.5 or equivalent. That's standard across all of the international students.
So what's the equivalent to Nigerians? Most people use WAEC. Do you accept WAEC? Do you accept NECO? And what grade? Is it C5, C6, B2?
I'll be honest. I'm not too sure about that actually. But if you want to reach out to Adiola or one of our representatives in Africa, they will be able to best advise you on those, because I know there are a number of other English qualifications that are available.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not so much something we struggle with from Nigeria, obviously, with you guys being English speakers.
Okay. So thank you. I'm still waiting for questions. Let me just give me a moment. I will just take a couple of seconds to scroll to see if I've actually missed out any questions, just so okay, so I don't think, just have people saying hello. Okay, so I haven't found any questions, so nothing missing. Okay, so just give me a moment. I did have a couple of questions that I wrote down, and let me see if there are any questions I haven't asked currently. Just can get that asked. So let's talk about the study gap. Do you have a specific length that the person needs to fulfill? Do people with 10 years or over 10 years study gap still have a chance to come to the Montfort University?
Yes. No. Usually, we with a larger study gap, the UKVI would see them as a high risk student potentially. But again, it's not to say that we're turning away students because they've got a study gap. It will just require they fill in an enhanced personal statement, and that they can provide assurances that that whilst they have been out of study for quite some time, they're re-entering for the right reasons, and they're going to use this qualification to better enhance their career aspirations and objectives and goals that they might have. So again, this will all put it across in the personal statement, certainly put it across to the interviewer during the credibility interview, because whenever they come for a credibility interview and they will see that, okay, well, it's a student with a bit of a study gap, they will kind of be looking for them to explain why they have this study gap first and foremost, but then give assurances that, okay, well, whilst I have this study gap, I want to, re-enter the world of education because my career has taken this different path, and I now want to get this qualification so I can go on to do this.
Okay, so thank you for that. So I want to ask about people interested in undergraduate programs, especially your foundation program. Can you give me more information about that? How old should the students be? If you have the information, what qualifications should they have? And does the school have facilities for students who are less than 16-year-old? Can we get the information on that for people who have I want to come?
Yeah, we have a international college, foundation college, DMUIC. I don't know if you've probably heard of it. So that offers a foundation route, so level 3 qualifications that would help prepare them for if they want to go into level 4. So I think that would be if you're asking, like, if they can enter, like apply for a course through that would be the best point of entry for them to come in.
Okay. So at what age? What's the minimum age requirement?
I'm not sure on the minimum age or so, but I mean, it's generally around 17, 18-year-olds at that point.
Okay. And what intake can they come to? Is the January open and then the September open?
Yeah, I believe there's a summer school runs as well. But
Okay.
again, I'm not the best person placed to answer that exactly. But I mean, it's,
Right.
again, if you go onto the website, there is a lot of information about how you can apply for the through the international college.
All right. So thank you so much. I have a couple of questions more before we have to go. I think we have about 5-10 minutes maximum, and this live is going to come to an end. So I want to know, how many intakes do you have in a year?
We have two currently. Yeah, we have a September, October intake, and then we have the January, February intake.
Okay, thank you. So I have a couple of questions. Can a 45-year-old man study an undergraduate course in your school?
Absolutely, yeah. As long, yeah, I mean, there's no age limit to this. Again, it was just go through the application route, make the point about why it is you want to study in the UK. Certainly be able to answer any questions at credibility interview. They might just say, okay, what's your motivation for study? That might be a different answer for a 45-year-old person to answer compared to someone maybe 20, 21 years old. But as long as they can give a good answer, then there's absolutely no reason why they can't. Okay,
thank you. Someone else, GR Confectionery, says, how long does application take?
Again, so the application will depend. What I would say is we have a team based in the country that can turn around offers quite quickly. But that will depend on your qualifications as well. So point we made earlier about minimum requirements. So for example, if it is a HND qualification, it will have to go back over here for the head of schools to assess and make a decision on that. That can sometimes just take a little bit longer. But I mean, if the student is over with them. Or sorry, if you speak with the Africa team, DMU Africa team that are based over there in Lagos, and the student meets the minimum qualifications, then that offer can go out quite quickly. And then from there, they'll get their offer letter. They'll be asked to they'll then get an invitation to attend a credibility interview. They book the credibility interview, do the credibility interview, pass the interview, and then they can start making deposits and start making arrangements about the new chapter in their life.
Okay. Gabby says, is there a latest course start date for business courses this September? Okay.
Latest course start date. So we are asking students to, if they are coming into the September intake, that they are here before teaching starts. The reason for that, we have in the past had some students that have arrived just slightly after the start of course time, but because we're now operating on a block teaching platform, there's a good they will miss a lot of the content. So before, if you were doing, say accounting and finance, for example, your course date would start on the 3rd of October, and you might be studying financial accountants, business management, management accounts, all little blocks of that, smaller blocks of that. But what's going to happen now is we're moving into this block teaching, and that would say, okay, in semester 1, you will be studying financial accounting. So, days 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will all be on financial accounting. So if you arrive late, you've missed a lot of teaching. So we are asking anyone coming in this intake that they do arrive, or they are ready to study, based they're over at Montfort University in Leicester by 1st of October, I would say.
1st of October. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think the third is when teaching starts. So yeah,
Okay.
they arrive that weekend.
Okay. So do we have any more questions before we go? I don't think so. Okay. No, we don't have. So thank you so much, Chris. This conversation has been very enlightening, and I know it's going to be very enlightening for the multitude of people who would be interested in coming to the Montfort University in January and then in September as well. Do you have any last words you want to say to everyone listening and people who are going to watch this once we upload?
No, I just to say, like, good luck with your with your applications, whether it is for this intake, or the January intake, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Okay.
The main points I just wanted to, the benefit of me sort of attending this as well, was to hopefully give you guys, or anyone watching or watching back, is assurances on the processes that we have in terms of credibility interviews, especially that you are coming to these interviews prepared and giving yourselves the best chance of passing credibility interview, and then coming through the application process, hopefully on time to arrive for this intake. But hopefully I'll see a lot of you very soon on campus.
Yes, hopefully. But just before you go, I have a question.
Okay.
There's cybersecurity degree is there a master's degree in cybersecurity for January?
Yeah, that is open. Yeah.
Okay.
For
So
January, yeah.
PK, please send us a DM, and then we can help you with your application for January. So it's very much open. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you very much.
See more of you. We'll definitely be extending an invitation at a later date for more questions that might pop up. And yeah, so thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
Bye.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.